Good day, podcast community. PeteKane here, podcast Pete, and certified lifestyle coach. And we have a beautiful episode for you today. Another certified high performance coach. And we're going to get into Jessica's story. But before we do, Jessica, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve. And then we'll get into our podcast.
Well, who I am, as you said, I am a high performance coach. Uh, I am at Bogota, Colombia. I get certificate around 3 years, and
Mhm.
I've been working around this coaching process, and I started a business around it 3 years ago. So yeah, it's been a journey since then. Um, like helping people in my region in Latam to like transform their life in high performance lifestyle. This philosophy that is so amazing, so transformative. So I'm helping leaders, entrepreneurs uh, that want to like embrace this lifestyle from themselves, but also to build a different culture in their business. So yeah.
What do you think? I love that. What do you think in your building of businesses and working with teams? What drew you to take a step in the direction of being a high performance coach?
Well, for my personal experience, I was the CEO of my first company. I was the CEO during like 10 years there. And we were like having this phase of scaling the business. And our team was growing, and it was difficult like to build this culture of high performance like team.
Mhm.
So I was wondering if there was like a process, because sometimes it's not clear how you have to like develop yourself. For example, for myself, I was like struggling a lot with my balance. And
Mhm.
if I can do it as a leader, it's even more difficult to show them to your team. So I
Mhm.
start to looking for answers. I was working with some mentors, with some coaches, and then I arrived to Brendan, to his books, to all his universe of
Mhm.
knowledge. And then I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with his coaching program, and then I decided to get certificated. And in that moment I have to decide, because I felt like a calling, like I fell in love with the process, I fell in love with coaching. So I decided to just give it a try to start a new business around it, and here I am.
Yeah, so good. What do you think? I often talk to entrepreneurs and we talk about community, and different people have definitions of community. What does it mean to you? How important is community in your journey as an entrepreneur and then shifting to being a high performance coach? What has it meant to you?
Well, I think it's key. Something that Brendan said a lot is that your environment also helps you to transform your life, your mindset, your ambition, everything. So it is important to feel aligned with your community, to
Mhm.
find your tribe. And that it's something that I felt with the CHBC community, for example. It's something that is like we have the same value, we have this desire of serving, of impact, and to elevate ourselves, to work always to get better, because always there is a next level. So when you're around this kind of people,
Mhm.
magic start to happen. And because it's more easier to like change your habits, change your perspective when you're around people that is working on that too. So yeah, I think that community is key, and be very intentional around what community you want to be part of.
That is so good. What do you think when it comes to challenging Jessica? How do you go about that process?
Wow. uh, Something that I have learned uh, coaching through my experience, through my professional experience, is that uh, it's important to challenge people, but first of all, you have to create this safety space, this uh, a space of confidence to gain trust of the people you want to challenge. It's really really important to understand them, to face in their problems, in their struggle, to be really honest, to be really vulnerable too, and to build that trust. And after that, you can challenge
Mhm.
someone. Sometimes we, as leaders, make the mistakes to challenge without like having this context, without gaining this confidence, this trust, and obviously it's going to be like towards like, yeah, and yeah, I think that it's important to challenge people, but first of all, gaining that trust.
Mm, that's so good. We're moving into a world that's changing so fast. You have AI, you have so much different technology. Business owners that, are my age, which I'm 68, are finding it hard to learn all this and be able to move fast enough. How do you coach through this rapid change? Is there anything you've done differently in the last year? Because it seems to be accelerating. And, we want to be able to move strategically, but how are you helping your clients move through rapid change?
uh, I started a community here because I was feeling that my clients, uh, in the daily basis, were struggling, and I decided to like give this little shots of motivation and little shots like of high performance like tips, every day,
Mhm.
because it's easy, as you say, world is changing too fast, and we need to have more like this, uh, like remember every day how is to live according to our principles, according to our values, according to this mindset and this lifestyle that we want to embrace. And it's easy to get lost during the day. So I decided to make this like this habit of sending these messages every day in a community. And it helped a lot because yeah, you have these clients and you see it maybe once a week or once a month, but when you're like remembering them every day, what is this these important pillars of high performance, it's like a way to like being with them every day.
Hmm. Thank you for that. I often, in my travels, I was always interested in personal growth and personal development. And I'll see people like we take a shower because we want to get clean, but we don't always take the mental shower that is so needed. How do you approach your learning and the process of that mindset you shared about? What do you do to be able to be mentally sharp and work on that mindset?
There are a lot of things that I do during my morning. My morning routine is very important, and it's very related with having a high performance planner and to write about what I want to do in my day, to set intentions, not only like the to-do list, but also like how is this day I'm going to embrace, what is the energy that I want to bring in every activity that I want to do, and this is an important activity because it helps me to reflect and to like visualize the energy and the person that I want to be. So
Hmm.
that is real important. Also, I meditate. It's something that really helps me in many stages of my life, and I do it daily because it helps me to like connect with myself. Sometimes we are so like in our minds, like our head is in another place and our body is completely disconnected.
Hmm.
So this practice helped me to connect with all my body, with all myself, and it's something that is really really important to be really aware of what I'm feeling, of what I'm thinking, and to reframe it if I have to, you know.
Mhm.
And exercise, I think that it's so important to move, you know,
Mhm.
like to bring this stamina to your life. It's something that it's really important in my morning, and I do it every day, in a different level, in a different like scale, you know. For example, if it's a busy day, well, something really short, but like bringing that energy to my day. So
Mm.
yeah.
And it's so good. What have you noticed, like when you are working with clients? What is there any patterns or any consistency of what challenges you're seeing today versus maybe 5, 10 years ago? Is there anything that kind of consistently comes to the surface when you're working with your clients?
Yeah, I think that in the last year, I have felt this shift around this sense of doubt in my clients. It's like something that we spoke during last week with all the coaches, is that uh, there is a lot of like an existential crisis around how it's going to be our purpose, our role during this transformation of AI. You know, it's like
Mhm.
how we are going to work, how it's going to be our part in this new world, because a lot of people is feeling like I'm going to, like, my work is going to be replaced, what I'm going to do with my life.
Mhm.
So there is a lot of doubt around our skills, uh, the hard ones and the soft ones. There is a lot of like doubt around if I work on this, or if I decided to to study around this topic is going to be like important in the future, or it's going to be replaced. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of doubt around uh, how we are going to live in this new era. So it's something that in our process we have to work a lot on purpose, on clarity, on the go back to basics, you know, to fundamentals, to the core of yourself, to your essence, to remember your values, to remember your personal compass, you know. So yeah, I think that is something that in the last year it's been a huge
Mhm.
change.
Hmm. What do you think when if you look at your life so far and you had to consult, give some advice to a 20-year-old Jessica, knowing what you know, what would you tell her?
Hmm. It's a great question. I think that something that it's uh, um, maybe in that time I was ignoring it, because in that time I was so I don't know, like worried about like having a great career. You know, I decided to study electronic engineer in that time,
Mhm.
and I will say to her that don't to pay attention to develop also your human skills.
Mhm.
Like it's something that is going to be more important in the future. With AI, you are going to sense that, like, okay, AI can do a lot of things. Uh, we are going to like replace a lot of work, but your human skills is
Mhm.
going to be the difference right now. Like how you can influence people, how you can listen to others, how you can like, yeah, you know, this kind of working on difficult conversations, like to be a leader, to all these kinds of soft skills. I think that is going to be really, really important in the future, and we tend in the past to ignore it, or just to as the name, soft skills, you know, it's not soft, it's really hard, these human skills, you know. But yeah, in the past we like we didn't pay too much attention to them.
Hmm. That is such good advice. Brendan talks about journaling in just about every daily fire, or pretty often. And before I had a stroke 4 years ago, I probably did one journal in my whole life. I mean, I did pieces of them, but I'd always like when I would be at dark spots or tough spots, I'd hear, well, do a gratitude journal. And so I do it for a day and two, and I wouldn't see anything happen. I go, forget that. But I've done probably 17 or 18 journals, full journals. I write every single day, and it's given me a discovery of myself. How do you use journaling? Are you doing, have you always been a person that journals, and how often do you do it to kind of give the viewers a little idea of, I call it as the almost the extension of meditation, because I never meditated before 4 years ago, but now I do every day. So share with our community a little bit about that part of you.
I think I can relate with your experience because I was that kind of person that, yeah, I'm going to write something in this journal, you know, but then I forget it like a month later. Oh, yeah, I was going to do this. And 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 the thing with this kind of habits, for example, the journaling and the meditation, is that the magic happens when you do it daily in an
Mhm,
important period of time.
mhm,
Because at first you're like it's when you're like landing in a new world, you know, maybe you are feeling like strange, it's not your place, you're like, yeah, this is going to change my life, you know,
mhm,
and with a lot of doubts. But if you just like let it go, your judgmental, your judge, and just do it and just trust in the process, uh, it begin to like you're feeling like you're connecting dots, like you're seeing the patterns of yourself, like you're seeing a lot of things that you didn't notice there was there, but you start to understand it more yourself, and how you think, how you feel. Because sometimes something that it happens a lot with my clients is that they are so uh, involved in their work, in their professional career, for example, and where and when they have this like emptiness inside of them, when they are feeling lost, is because they are really really disconnected
mhm,
with their feelings, you know. So it's this habit is to like connect yourself with that, with your feelings, when how you think, to be
mhm,
aware of that, and to work with you to move you to a better place, you know.
mhm,
uh, and yeah, I think that it's amazing when you see that process and see this momentum that you are going to create if you keep doing it. But you have to have faith on it. At first it feels really really strange, I know, but if you have faith and you keep doing it for a long period,
mhm.
uh, you are going to see the magic of the process.
Yes. Yeah, that is so true. And it's that consistency. It's almost like it keeps compounding with you personally because, you know, I don't do social media, I don't do TV, and I gave up a lot of things. I gave up actually alcohol, I gave up sugar. And I didn't, when I first gave up some of these things, I didn't know the benefits until later. And it's just like those habits do compound to the point that they keep getting better and better. What do you think when you look? There was a TV show. I don't know if you ever got exposed to it. It was like Bewitched, and she would wiggle her nose, and she
Yeah, 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 I know it.
and then she would get it. So if Jessica was bewitched and she could wiggle her nose, what would that wish be?
Wow, it's a interesting question. Mm, maybe this self-awareness on people. Like maybe it's a. I think that the starting point, you know, when you are self-aware and you gain this clarity around yourself, it's more easy to like be part of the solution, no part of the problem, you know.
Mhm.
So I think that is huge, and I will like desire self-awareness for everybody.
Yeah, that is so true because there's so much that we're capable, and if we don't have that self-awareness, we don't like we when we do growth day, we rate ourselves, and so if you're not scoring yourself, how do you know if you can get better? Because you're not actually putting a intentional process together.
Yeah.
What would you say when you look at your life? I had a gentleman, this is about a year ago, and he talked about trauma and just going through tough times. He was at age 5, he grew up in a concentration camp in Russia. So it wasn't a typical 5-year-old's upbringing. But what he said was, which was interesting, because I don't know how we got to PTSD, but he said, take the D and put G for growth. Is there a time in your life that was some trauma or difficult times that you grew as a result of just going through the fire or going through a difficult time that you, not to go into details, but just to give our viewers an idea of the growth potential through hardship? As he says, honor the struggle.
Oh, sure. For me, it was related with my first company. You know, when I started this business, I have two partners in this business, and I was really young when I decided to start this business. I
Mhm.
was studied at university at the beginning, and in that time I didn't know myself a lot. So during all these years, and like, yeah, the business was great. It was growing, and uh, yeah, outside it seems like everything was working, you know,
Mhm.
but inside I began to felt uh, like something was off. Like I don't know. It was like this disalignment with uh, the values, with my other partners. I was like feeling this struggle a lot. And
Mhm.
yeah, I am a huge believer of honor the struggle, because I think that is something that is really important.
Mhm.
But I, with that crisis, and when I was sitting and trying to like be honest with myself about if I was going to continue or not, uh, I understand that sometimes you have to see the difference between the struggle and the suffering. You know, it's two different like ways, because suffering, it's uh, the pain is like something that we are going to like uh, experience during our life. Everybody is going to feel pain, but suffering, it's a choice, you know. It's like if this is too much, and this is like uh, you also have to know when you have to let it go, some things, because it's like, no, this is not like honoring the struggle. This is something that it's betrayal myself, betrayal my values, betrayal who I am. So that was huge, because realizing that it with your company, with your first company, because when you found a company, you never expect to leave your company, you know. It's something that is like an alter ego of yourself. It's something that you really love, and you put a lot of effort, and you put a lot of like, yeah, a lot of yourself there. So it was hard to realize that the path that I have to take, if I want to be honest and true to myself, was to just letting go.
Mhm.
So it was really hard, but I think that uh, I made that decision, taking into account our philosophy. You know, it's like, first of all, clarity of yourself, and
Yes.
act aligned with it, So yeah, it's something that was huge, but I think in retrospective, I I'm glad I did that, and I decided to make this difficult decision.
That's so good. What do you think? You mentioned mentors earlier. How how long ago did you kind of embrace mentors? Because a lot of times people will go through life and not seek anybody. They'll just, it's kind of like I can do it by myself. I can be the solo entrepreneur. I can just grind. When did Jessica kind of lean into that mentor mindset?
Whoa, I think it's something that maybe if I try to remember since college, I I I I volunteer in some organizations there,
Mhm,
and the thing that moves me to do that were this approach to like these mentors, these people with more experience, to learn around uh, their professional experience, their like investigations, their and I was really curious back then. I'm still are,
mhm,
but since then, I decided to be near people that are doing interesting things. It's like,
mhm,
okay, tell me more about it. I want to learn about your life, professional and personal. It's something that I love to learn. Um, and when I decided to become an entrepreneur and to start my business, it was even more crucial, because there are a lot of things that. During building your business, you don't know how to do it. It's like,
mhm,
oh my god, this is too much in many levels. It's not just the strategic level, but also in sales and marketing and human resources and operations, and it's huge. So I was really open to always listen to people that has passed these stages in their own businesses, and
mhm,
sit with them and ask a lot of questions. And yeah, it's something that is really important for me, and I always seeking for that. But something that has changed during all these years is
mhm,
that maybe in that time I was looking for mentors more in these hard skills, like teach me how to um do this sales process, or teach me how to build these operations in my business, or yeah, more specific skills. And now I'm more open to also like seek for mentors, but in other aspects of my life, like more philosophical way. It's like, okay, but what about life? What about what I want to become? How is the impact that I want to build? And to speak with people that is creating their own like legacy. It's something
mhm.
that is really important for me, like in a deeper way. So yeah, that has shifted. Like I'm seeking for mentors in a deeper level.
Hmm. What do you think? You mentioned, I can tell through just our conversation, curiosity. You seem to have a lot more curiosity than most. Do you credit anybody with stoking that skill back when you were growing up, or how did you start on that journey of being curious?
Huh. I think that there is a lot of people that influenced me when I was a child. I think that yeah, I remember a lot my grandmother, because when you hear uh, her story, she she was a girl of a town, and she decided to move to the country with my grandfather. And
Mhm,
it's like hearing their story, it's so inspiring, because they were curious. It's like,
mhm,
let's do it.
mhm,
And she also decided to build a business, uh, for herself, and it was like, why not? And yeah, it's like this openness to the experience. It's like this way of seeing the world, like, why not? Let's try it. So yeah, they were both very inspiring. My grandfather was more intellectual. He loved to read. He
Mm,
was this yeah, this uh, how you say it, this rational person, he was a lawyer, and he was always reading. And I remember that it's something that printed in myself, like, okay, there is a whole world in these books, so I'm going to like see that as a, yeah, a way also to embrace my curiosity. uh my father and my mother, they like uh, give me a lot of freedom to be myself. Like,
mm,
for example, when I decided to like start my business, everyone is going to say to you, first of all, you get a job and gain experience. And but when I decided to just I'm going to be an entrepreneur, and they support me. They it was like, do your thing, go and do your thing.
yeah.
So it was something like important for me to like being free to experience a lot of things. So yeah, I think that's important.
That is so good. What, you mentioned legacy, and I kind of, in the last 4 years, thought more about it than maybe in the past. What do you think when you think about legacy and Jessica's legacy? If you, how intentional are you thinking about it, and what would you like it to be?
uh, Thinking about legacy, it's huge. I think it's
Mhm,
like uh, because for example, for me, it's really important. All of my projects during all my life are seeking to impact, like to serve, to like bring in uh, joy, bring in clarity, bring in like helping people around me, But when I decided to start this new business around coaching, it get deeper, like in a deeper level. The impact that I want to to give to my to my environment, to my region. It's something that is really important. Something that I told you last week is that uh, it's not common that people in my region have access to this knowledge of high performance
mhm,
uh, philosophy, because it's something that is not in my region. Is this knowledge is not uh, and is this barrier of language, for example, because all of this knowledge is in English. So it has this bridge, uh, this challenge. So something that I want to work is to bring that and trying to adapt to our reality, and to like spread the word to a lot of people here. So yeah, I want uh, to find a way to translate it and to share it with as much people as I can. So yeah, that is the legacy that I want to embrace. That is something that I work every day. For
mhm,
example, one of the goals of the community is that to like spread these messages to a lot of people through
mhm,
that community, through that messages daily, and with my services, with my coaching program, with all the things that I offer through my clients. But yeah, it's something that it's like my mission, and I want to embrace it, and I want to give it the scale as much as I can.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I love how you express that. I'm in Rotary here in Atlanta, and I was in it 25 years ago, and I got invited back about 4 years ago, and it's just a group of people that are serving the community. They're doing wonderful things. They don't need any accolades. They just go out there and serve. And globally, there's a lot of things going on. But this gentleman, he's been retired for a bunch of years, but we were talking and he was sharing with us about our superpower. And he said that you hear people like a person, maybe their car is on a child, they lift up the car, they have this superpower because they just have to do it and they do it. Have you discovered through anything that you've done that Jessica's superpower, like he said, everybody has three, and it may be true. Have you discovered any of your superpower through unusual circumstances?
Oh, well, one thing that I feel that it's something that helps me to connect with people is that I'm really sensitive.
Mhm.
I am, I don't know, I'm really connected with my with emotions in general. I
Mhm.
can sense uh, like seeing someone like they are struggling and they're feeling like it's something that I can sense, you know. And I think that it's really important because uh, it helps me to like open doors, like sit with everybody and like through emotions through this connection, like
Mhm.
build this trust and help them, you know. uh, just listening or maybe giving advice or maybe uh, giving tools, you know.
Mhm.
So it's that I'm really like sensitive and I can like connect really fast
Yeah.
in that level, you know. Another thing that it's also I think a superpower is that uh, I study a lot. It's something that it's like something that I love. Is I embrace it. I love it, and and because of that, I can see patterns. It's like it was for example critical when I was the CEO of my first company
Yeah.
because you have to develop uh, this strategic view, this like a more generalistic view of things, and you have to know a lot about a lot of topics and to connect the dots. And it's something that I can do. It's something that it's a talent for myself, and it's something that, for example, as a coach, helps a lot because your client is going to talk to you about everything, you know, like his personal life, but also here is professional challenges, and like connect the dots, help them connect the dots in a more strategic view is something that yeah helps a lot in the process. So yeah, it's something that is a talent for me. And what else? I don't know. I think that I am very coachable.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm really open to like uh, finding mentors, like receiving feedback,
Yeah.
like how I can improve right now because I want to always be better, and there's always a next level. So I'm open to that, like something that helps me a lot through all my life. So yeah, I think that is a talent.
That is. And I would agree. What do you think? We talk about there's a book out. She has a good book, Carol DeWick, on the growth mindset. And she talks about belief systems.
Yeah.
Have you had a belief change in the last year that through some kind of growth discovery you thought this one way and all of a sudden it was not accurate? Has anything that you could share with us help change that belief system through just conversations, through people, through books, anything in particular?
Something that was huge for me because I wrote it in my journal at
Mhm.
the end of the year, and it was something that I reflect for a lot of things that happened to me last year. uh, is that I don't have to believe uh, all of the feelings that I am like sensitive, because as I told you, I'm very sensitive and I'm really connected with my emotions. It is really important for myself. But sometimes the ego gets in the way,
Hmm.
and the ego can tell you a lot of lies around what you are feeling.
Hmm.
So last year I was struggling with some health issues, and during the period that I was like waiting for the results of some test, I started to like ruminate a lot of like scenarios, like I get very catastrophical,
Hmm.
and I was like so afraid, I was so anxious, and I was so like, oh my God, this is the end of the world, like this feeling. And and it was so critical because I started to believe it. Like, even if I don't have the diagnostic, I start to believe that something was wrong with me.
Hmm.
So I like uh, start to like changing some habits because, oh my God, there's nothing to do. This rumination start to affect my habits, my actions.
Yeah.
So in a moment, and I thank my husband a lot because he like told me like, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah.
uh, and I noticed that the power of your thoughts, we know as coaches because we help people to notice it, but when you are living it, it's it's completely different because you know intellectually, but during the day you forget it in your life sometimes. So I started to notice these beliefs, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, maybe I embrace my feelings, but this is not my feelings. These are lies that I'm telling to myself. So the the learning there is that I also have to like be more neutral with my feelings and my thoughts. Like, okay, wait, yeah, you're thinking this, you're feeling it, but this is true. This is like, yeah, have this conversation because sometimes there are lies there. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a huge like lesson last year, because when I decided to shift that, everything changed. And and this issue of my health just like we pass it, and it was not as huge as I thought.
Yeah.
And I started to work with my body, and then I like, yeah, I passed through that.
Hmm.
So it was a huge lesson there. So yeah.
That is so good. I have a friend, and he moved from Spain and didn't know how to speak one word of English when he came here on a golf scholarship. And he joined our Rotary, and I saw a side to him that I never saw, his humor. And so he's in there and he's cracking jokes. And I said, Lucas, like, where did this come from? Because I never saw that. We did a lot of podcasts together, and he said this, he goes, I get it from my thinking in English. And I said, what do you mean? He goes, well, I actually think more in English than I do Spanish. And I said, really? And my question is, do you, being bilingual, do you have a preference of how you think? Do you think in Spanish? Do you think in English? Do you think of both? Like, how do you do your deep thinking? Like, what language is it?
Wow. It- it's interesting because I think that something that I have noticed is that when I'm thinking more rational, more like, um, yeah, in specific topics, and I think that's it's tend to be in English because there are a lot of terms that I understand better in English. That it's an accurate word for the thing that I want to learn and to express.
Hmm.
Uh, but when I am like connected with my feelings, with my emotions, I am more uh, an Spanish thinker, like I'm more connected with my emotions in my native language. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, is this like two parts of myself, like
Yeah.
the more rational is in English, the more emotional is in Spanish.
Oh, that's so good. That's good. I mean, but I'm not bilingual, so I don't know what that process is like. Yes, but that is cool that you shared that. I want to be respectful of your time. So I have one question after this. Tell our viewers, how can they get a hold of you? And then I have one final question for you.
Excuse me, I don't get it. A
Like,
whole.
can they get you on LinkedIn? Like, what
Okay,
would
yeah,
be
sure.
your website, or how can they get in touch with Jessica? Because you know what? I can see people that we're going to want Jessica coaching them. So,
Okay.
what would be that process? What could they do to connect with you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I
Okay.
am there. You can find me as Jessica Chiota. I am there. I'm always posted a lot of content around high performance there, and there is always there is a link of my website, and also to a to a to a time firm to make an appointment to have this call to meet my and to talk about if I can help them as a coach. So yeah, you can add me on LinkedIn, and yeah, I think that is the place where we can connect.
So, what would be the one thing you would want our viewers to take home from our time on this podcast?
Oof. I think that uh, we are approaching to uh, a new world, a new era with AI, and I think that something that is going to be critical is to embrace our human skills, to
Mhm.
connect with our essence.
Mhm.
And we need help to connect with that. We need guides, we need mentors, we need coaches that help us connect with us in a deeper level.
Yes.
So I think that is my message to embrace that help, to embrace that path, because it's going to be critical. And yeah, and to look for professionals in that matter,
Mhm.
because yeah, there is a lot of help around in the world, but if you can find uh, people that can help you, but with process, with science back
Mhm.
them, with this like knowledge, not just for themselves, but because it's proven that it's working with a lot of people, it's something that I recommend. Like, yeah, find this professional help. It's going to be crucial in the next decades.
No, that's wise advice. Jessica, thank you so much. You've been a delightful guest. I appreciate you taking the time to share with our community your story and your journey. And thank you for being here.
Thank you